Welcome to the Department of Collegiate and Technical Education. E-Content Developer is Professor Basuraj VK, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Government Engineering College, Raichur. So, this is almost a last session, that is 6th session for 5th module sheet metal operations of metal cutting and forming subject, that is 18 ME 35A. So at the completion of 6th session, the students will understand the various forces and calculations, identify the bending sheet metal operations, knowledge of embossing and coining operations, understanding the comparison of embossing and coining operations. So the contents to be covered include introduction to bending force and calculations, embossing and coining, MCQs, assessment of VTU question papers. So introduction to bending force and calculation. So in the last session we came to know that when the bending of sheet takes place, it is subjected to both tensile and compressive stresses. The upper layer of the sheet is subjected to tensile and the innermost layer will be subjected to the compressive stress. In between these two, extreme tensile and compressive, there is a layer or there is an axis called as a neutral axis, which is neither subjected to tensile stress nor subjected to compressive stress. So the plane with no stresses is called the neutral axis. The neutral axis should be at the center when the material is elastically deformed. Means it should be equally distanced from the tensile and compressive, so that plus and minus is going to be the neutral one. But when the material reaches the plastic stage, the neutral axis moves downwards, since the materials oppose the compression much better than the tension. So you can see these are some of the bending calculations what we are going to have it over here. Different types of bending. The bend radius is there, bend angle will be there, extreme layer, inner layer and the neutral axis over here. Similarly on the machine we are going to have this one. Same on this also. We can see this V bend and edge bending here. V bending is there, V block and edge bending is there. So bend allowance, increased length of the sheet because of bending. So R plus KT of alpha is the bend allowance, where B is the bend angle, radians alpha, R is inside radius of the bend in mm, and K is the location of neutral axis from the bottom surface. When R is less than 2T, it's equal to 0.5. When R is greater than 2T, that is T is the thickness in mm. So bend radius. The outer layers which are under tension should not be stretched too much, otherwise there is likelihood of rupture taking place. The external tensile stress, that is the exterior part which is acting on the topmost sheet. The amount of stretching depends on the sheet thickness and the bend radius. Lower the bend radius, higher is the strain in this zone. Hence there is a minimum bend radius to be specified. Depending on the material characteristics which you are using, minimum bend radius is 0.5 times the thickness for soft material, and for others we are going to have 3 times the thickness. So bending force, maximum bending force estimated as F is the bending force, Ts tensile strength of the sheet metal, W is the part width in direction of bend axis, T is the stock thickness and D is the die opening dimension. So if bend radius is small relative to the stock thickness, metal tends to stretch during the bending. So important to estimate amount of stretching so that the final part length is equal to the specified dimension. So now we'll see the embossing. So sheet metal embossing is a stamping process for producing raised or sunken designs or relief in sheet metal. This process can be made by means of matched male and female roller dies or by passing sheet or a strip of metal between rolls of desired pattern. It is often combined with foil stamping to create a shiny 3D effect. So in embossing process, the metal sheet embossing operation is commonly accomplished with a combination of heat and pressure on the sheet metal depending on what type of embossing is required. So theoretically with any of these procedures, the metal thickness is changed in its composition. Metal sheet is drawn through the male and female roller dies, producing a pattern or design on the metal sheet. Depending on the roller dies used, different patterns can be produced on the sheet. The pressure and a combination of heat actually ions while raising the level of the image higher than the substrate to make it smooth. Impressing refers to an image lowered into the surface of a material in distinction to an image raised out of the surface of a material. In most of the pressure embossing operation machines, the upper roll blocks are stationary while the bottom roll blocks are movable. The pressure with which the bottom roll is raised is referred to as the tonnage capacity. Embossing machines are generally sized to give 2 inches or approximately 5 cm of strip clearance on each side of an engraved embossing roll. Many embossing machines are custom manufactured, so there are no industry standard widths here. It's not uncommon to find embossing machines in operation producing patterns less than 6 inches or 15 cm wide all the way up to machines producing patterns around 180 cm wide or more also. Embossing is an operation in which the sheet metal is drawn to shallow depths with male and female matching dies. It is carried out mostly for the purpose of stiffening flat panels. The operation is also sometimes used for making decoration items like number plates or name plates, jewelry, etc. with 2 dies. Letters, number designs on sheet metal parts can be produced by this operation. So the embossing characteristics are, it is the ability to form ductile metals, use in medium to high production runs, the ability to maintain the same metal thickness before and after embossing, the ability to produce unlimited patterns depending on the roll dies, the ability to reproduce the product with no variation. The different materials used here is aluminum and all its alloys, brass, cardstock, cold rolled steel, copper, galvanized steel, high strength low alloy steel, hot rolled steel, all alloys of steel and zinc. We have seen already the coining. Coining is a form of precision stamping in which a workpiece is subjected to a sufficiently high stress to induce plastic flow on the surface of the material. A beneficial feature is that in some metals the plastic flow reduces the surface grain size and work hardens the surface, while the material deeper in the part retains its toughness and ductility. The term comes from the initial use of the process manufacturing of coins here. Coining is a cold working process similar in other respects of forging, which takes place at elevated temperature. It uses a great deal of force to plastically deform a workpiece so that it conforms to die. Coining can be done using a gear driven press, a mechanical press, or more commonly a hydraulically actuated press. Coining typically requires higher tonnage presses than stamping because the workpiece is plastically deformed and not actually cut as in some other forms of stamping. The coining process is preferred when there is high tonnage. It's not a process that removes metals as in traditional stamping operation that use a punch and die or cut. Instead, the coining tool applies tremendous force to the workpiece and creates the desired shape by displacing material. Coining is used to manufacture parts of all industries and is commonly used when high relief or very fine fractures are required. So, in application wise, minting coins and medallation and other similar products on flat stock with relief features, making badges, buttons, precision energy springs and precision parts with small or polished surface features, making complex electronic parts, making of jewelry. So you can find the difference between coining and embossing. The coining and embossing basic difference is the same design is created on both sides of the workpiece in embossing, one side depressed and the other raised. In coining operation, a different design is created on each side of the workpiece. In this process, lubrication is not used. Any substance between the die and work would hinder the reproduction of the most accurate details that are to be found on the work surface. In coining, large amount of force is exerted to a portion of or the entire surface of a forging. The surface of the metal workpiece is positioned parallel to the dividing line of the forging. This process is considered a method of precision stamping in which the metal workpiece is subjected to high stress to induce the flashy deformation. So description wise we have the difference, application wise we have the difference between coining and embossing. So coining is a metalworking operation used to create raised surface and imprints in metal. Coining is relatively severe operation that creates variations, whereas embossing is a metalworking operation used to create raised surface or lettering in sheet metal. Theoretically, no change in metal thickness during embossing. This is used for making works on metal like coins, medals, due to the fact that it produces finer and detailed surface finish. It is used in drawing on metals, jewelry shapes, etc. due to its ability to produce products with no variations. So pressure required in coining at work is more than the embossing. It uses the less pressure in embossing. In application of force, when the force is applied to it, the flow direction of metal is perpendicular to the applied force, whereas in embossing, when the force is applied, the flow direction of metal is along the applied force. So coining operation under cold working requires more force. This type of operation uses less force at working than coining operation. Some of the assignment questions are: define embossing and coining process, write the comparison between the embossing and coining process, formula for bending force diagram. The referred sketch books will be manufacturing process by P. Thank you.